Good morning, afternoon, Transtastic. My name is Kai, and this week's topic is transitioning and before and after transitioning. So, I am one of the people who hasn't medically transitioned on this channel, and I want to talk about the fact that there is a lot of spectrum when it comes to how someone feels their transition is and when they feel like it's complete. And I also want to talk about the whole idea of cis passing and how I hate it and how the media seems to love it. So let's begin. First of all, I've just noticed that every single trans person in the media currently is like a cis passing person and normally heterosexual. And that really bothers me because there's so much diversity in this community that is never shown. And I don't like the idea that when we focus on trans people, we never focus on anything that they need help with. We never focus on their issues. We are always focusing on their bodies, and I think it's ridiculous because we only care about, oh, how much of a real woman or a real man can you look like? And that's ridiculous, and it's super cis-normative, and being trans has nothing to do with trying to be like any other cis person. It doesn't have to do with trying to mold ourselves that way we're seen a certain way. It has to do with a lot of mentally just who we are and how we feel like we fit into the world. And I feel like that's never shown enough, and it's never shown that there's a lot of people who are widely on any of the spectrums and who a lot of them cannot afford or just don't want to pass. And I think that's totally cool because in my mind, how we dictate bodies in our society is ridiculous, because I can see someone who has any kind of body and see them as whatever gender they're telling me that they are. And for me, I feel like my body is male. I don't like the whole idea of where trans people say they're trapped in the wrong body, because I think we're not trapped in the wrong body, we're trapped in the society and cis-normativity and how our bodies are supposed to coordinate with our gender and how our sex is supposed to coordinate with our gender. That's what we're more stuck in. Because for me, I feel like I have a totally 100% male body because I am male, but when other people see my body, they will see it as being female because that's what they were taught, because they were taught certain aspects of my body mean female and for others certain aspects mean male, which is dumb to me. So if it were up to me, I would not, it is up to me, but I'm not interested necessarily in going on hormones because I'm very happy with my body currently. I don't experience a lot of dysphoria anymore. I've actually experienced a lot less dysphoria. One, when I got into a relationship and I just learned that there's nothing wrong with my body. It's 100% male, and there's nothing wrong with it. And also when I just kind of stopped trying to pass and just let myself be who I was, I just realized I was trying to force myself into a masculine stereotype, and that wasn't who I was at all. So once I kind of got rid of that, I felt a lot happier. But my one thing that bothers me so much is that I'm always misgendered in public, and I do not want to live the rest of my life being misgendered. And I also there's so much effort that you have to put into trying to pass when you are not on hormones. If I go somewhere, I have to deal with dropping my voice, wearing a binder, setting up my posture, which is dumb, but I really don't like being misgendered. So I do those things because how our world works, we're gonna go based off of what we can see. And since they can't see a 100% male when they look at me, I get misgendered. And so I'm going to go on hormones to stop that from happening. There's some physical elements I want from hormones, mainly the voice dropping and the change just physically in your body shape, because I never fit into men's clothing, so that would be nice. But that's pretty much it. I'm not really interested in all the elements that hormones is gonna give me. But if it were in a perfect world, I would just get top surgery. But also in my perfect world, everyone doesn't misgender me. I get gendered correctly all the time because, as far as like medically and as far as emotionally, I don't know if I feel like I've completed my transition, but I've been out for about a year and a half, so I'm very confident in who I am and knowing what my identity is. And I've also given myself a little bit more leash and accepted that gender is more fluid than I like my gender is more fluid and my expression is more fluid than I maybe like to admit sometimes, because I am male, but I also have a very fluid gender expression when it comes to just normally, and maybe that's also not like that I don't really want to fit into boxes, but kind of how I feel about that. And then as far as where I am in the process of getting on hormones, I've been to my endocrinologist and I had a consultation with her. She said, we have your doctor's note, all we need is a letter from your therapist and you are good to go on hormones. So all I need to do now is get the letter from my therapist, and my therapist wants me to come in about 4 more times for sessions before she'll write me my hormone letter, just to make sure I'm like good. And I don't have like a psychotherapist or anything like that. She's just a regular like art therapist, I don't know. And when she gives me that letter, I will book a doctor's appointment with my endocrinologist, and if that all goes well, I should be getting on hormones within that next appointment that's booked. So I've kind of I haven't been pushing off the process, but I haven't been caring about it that much because I've been insanely busy. In fact, this whole week I've been getting home from school. I started school at 8:15 and I get home around 9 because I've been working a show. So the show's from about 7 to 9 and I'm the stage manager, so I have to be there all the time. So I've been really exhausted and not had any time to schedule any appointments. Speaking of which, I have not had time to cut my hair, and my hair is driving me insane. Speaking of dysphoria, I start having dreams that my hair grows back and it feels really long and I need to get it cut. I almost didn't want to film this video because I hate how my hair looks, but here we are. And I have matcha green tea, Good Earth. This says on it, women who seek to be equal to men lack ambition. Marilyn Monroe. Women who seek. I like that. Alright. Kind of tastes like melons. So that's how I feel on transitioning and hormones and the whole process. And I would just like to say that not everyone even is interested in hormones or surgery. Every transition is completely different, so I think we need to recognize that all the time. There's this video series I've been watching with my girlfriend, and it's called Laura Jane Grace True Trans, and she's a trans artist and a rock star, and she made a video series and it explains what being trans really is and shows a lot of different trans people who do not care about the binaries at all. And I love that because it's so realistic, because all the trans people I've met, rarely they're cis-passing people, rarely they're straight, and how we show things in the media, they're all just queer or just gender fluid or whatever. And I think that's very important to highlight the amount of diversity we have in this community. So thank you all for watching this video. I will see you next Saturday, and I hope you all are doing well. If you are new, welcome. You should subscribe to this channel because it's pretty cool. And I will see you next Saturday. Bye guys.